opponent's deck was pretty interesting. I wonder if they had some of the sacrifice payoffs for stealing your creatures. They had the Smelt Ward Ignis, which is nice. It's like an act of treason on a creature. Now this one's kind of bad. We don't have all of our colors. We have a Law Mage's Binding, but we might not be able to cast it. We have a Viscopa Vampire. That's our only castable card. We have an extra draw, so we're going to go ahead and mulligan here. Potentially punished for it. Ugh. I'm going to keep. If we get a land, this gets a little bit better. But if we go to 5, we probably definitely lose. So, I don't need you. This could be a bad game for us, guys. Okay, no land yet. One land that preferably taps for black, and suddenly this is a much better game. Nothing yet. Okay. Ooh, we're playing against Rakdos, and still not drawing lands. This is not great, guys. We got to discard a card. We're going to have to discard Bedevil here. We might not ever get to cast that. If we can just get one more and then keep our creatures on the board. Ooh, painful. Looks like we're going to hand our opponent an easy win here. Yep, and so now we're at the point where, whew, it's probably too slow. No thank you, we don't need you back. Decline. Yeah, we're taking 5-6 next turn. Not great. Skewer the critics, yes. Okay, get ready for game 2. We're going to make the same trade that we made last time. We're going to trade our Hazda Marshal for a Footlight Fiend. But other than that, I like our deck. Hopefully just get some lands this time. Maybe shouldn't have kept on that hand, but really just did not want to go. Draw first or play first. We will play first. Normally with decks with a lot of cheap removal, you don't mind drawing first, but our problem is we're also a gate deck, which means we're a lot slower, which means we need our mana advantage. So we're going to keep this. This is perfect. Play out our Swamp, and play out our Footlight Fiend. Okay, play out our Gateway Plaza. 1, and get in there for 1. Okay, we got a Plains here. We're gonna go into combat, get in for another 1, and our Gateway Sneak. Hopefully get... This guy hasn't got to see too much action, but the game where we did play him, he was very strong, just keeping our card advantage very high. Opponent playing mono red at the moment. Let's see if they're going to go all red deck wins on... Oh! Playing Light Up the Stage, yeah, our opponent. Thankfully drawing 2 mountains instead of a particularly useful card. So what do we want to do? We don't have to play the gate because he's not going to get blocked anyway, so I'm going to save the gate for a turn. All attack. Get to draw a card here, and then play Spirit of the Spires. So it looks like maybe our opponent has a handful of black cards. Okay. Opponent choosing to give the counter. I think that's fine. Do we want to Law Mage's Binding or Bedevil it? Let us go ahead and Law Mage's Binding. Just rather keep around things that say destroy. Play out our Guild Gate. Not that it matters, and we'll keep attacking then. Draw card. Cry. Pretty good for us right now, especially looking at a Concordia Pegasus. Okay. Opponent plays out that, and once again, oh, we can't play the Devil, so happy to Law Mage's Binding again. Let's go into combat here. Wish there was a way to say thanks to our opponent, but no way to do that. And we will play out a Rakdos Gate, and we will play out a Concordia Pegasus. See, you got a viewer here in chat. Welcome to the stream, viewer. Feel free to comment, post, ask questions. I love answering any way I can. Playing a pretty interesting deck right now. Not quite, I mean, I guess you'd call it a Gates deck. We don't have too many Gates payoffs, but just a ton of control cards here. Feels really good. Let's see. Gonna go into combat. And we'll attack with everything if our opponent wants to trade for our Footlight Fiend. It's not the worst thing in the world. Sure. And then we will play out our Orzhov Guild Gate and pass turn. Still have Bedevil up. And that's a concession from our opponent going into game 3. I don't think that we need to make any changes, right? Caracol Prowler is an early play that trades off with our opponent. But no, I think we're good. Okay, what do we have here? 2 mana. Yeesh. But we do have Azorius. We have a Law Mage's Binding here. If we get one more, we can play out Viscopa. Sure. Opponent goes first, so we get to draw. We'll keep this. Play out our Guild Gate and pass the turn. Okay, we are going to play out our second Azorius Guild Gate and pass the turn here. Ooh, decent card from our opponent. This guy could be a pain in the butt. I'm wondering if we want to go ahead and use our removal on that. Probably. So we're going to pass the turn here. And Law Mage's Binding on this, or the next scariest thing that they play. Okay, so before we go to attackers, okay, reach creature from our opponent. We play out this and Concordia Pegasus. Haven't got to use Kaya's Wrath in any of our games yet. I'll be excited to see if we finally get to do something with it. Okay, so we have to discard 2 cards. We're definitely going to discard that. And we want to discard Viscopa Vampire. Cry the Carnarium and Kaya's Wrath seems a little redundant, but Cry can be pretty good against our opponent. Get rid of Viscopa, that's fine. I'm not looking to race right now, necessarily. And we can just draw another one. Perfect, just like I planned it. So... how important is 1 damage? Sure. Oh, I forgot. Our opponent forgot too. Didn't have reach. Or maybe they were just afraid of the combat tricks. That's fine. We snuck in a damage. Scorch Mark, fair. Ooh, Smelt Ward Ignis. We're just gonna pass through our turn here. Don't want to cry, don't want to Kaya's Wrath yet. There we go. Now I'll cry next turn. Cry the Carnarium. Maybe our opponent will cry next turn. Sure. You can go to the top. And cry the Carnarium. And then that's it. No attacks. Secure the critics from our opponent, taking out our blocker, but that's okay, because we are about to have a Gateway Colossus. Ill-Gotten Inheritance, strong card from our opponent, but we're going to have a hard time blocking us here. I could play out the Archway Angel and gain a bunch of life, but yeah. Yeah, this puts the pressure on our opponent. They have to be able to play out something that can block or deal with this, or they're going to have to go ahead and sacrifice the Ill-Gotten Inheritance, or else they just lose this next turn. Get to the point. That's okay. We can deal with that. Okay. Combat. Opponent's taking 3 in the air, and then we're going to play Order, followed by an Impassioned Sneak here. So now if our opponent does get to, you know, Scary Overrun status, we're just waiting to Kaya's Wrath, and then in a situation where we can get Gate Colossus back. And I think that should wrap up the game for us. Okay, final payment. Not too concerned about that. Combat. Okay, Archway Angel. Ooh, forgot about that. I keep forgetting this thing has reach. Yeah, we're gonna have to... Okay, and so now we can final payment, pay 5 life, and destroy target creature. Okay, that's fine. Didn't want to lose our Archway Angel there to that Blade Brand. So we still have a little ways to go with this ill-gotten inheritance from our opponent. No blocks. But, ooh, didn't want to see that. Right, combat. Opponent does have that flash flying creature. So I guess we have to watch out for that, but there's not too much we can do about it at this point. Okay, so we got 2 lands. If our opponent does play Carnival and Carnage, I think that's the second part of that card. Now we can discard 2 lands that we don't need. Yep. So our opponent is almost to the range of sacrificing. We are actually going to see if we can trade off right here, because I don't want to die to an overrun effect from our opponent. That seems pretty bad. Sweet. Lawmage's Binding. Said overrun effect. I guess I meant more like a trumpet blast effect when our opponent goes kind of wide on the board. Sure. So now our opponent has to Illigon Inheritance. 4 attackers. Let's get rid of this guy. Okay. I'm gonna go combat. So that's pretty rough, but now we don't have to deal with that anymore. And next turn we get that. Let's see. Is there anything that we die to? Opponent being able to destroy our Alarm Mage's Binding and pumping Gore Clan Wrecker somehow. Just wondering, like, it seems really bad, but I almost wonder if I want to Kaya's Wrath here, but I don't think so. If we die to a hasty 4/4, and we die to a hasty 4/4. Okay. And then I think that's it from our opponent. Good game. Good game. Great deck from our opponent. There's plenty of ways that we could have lost that match there. So happy that we were able to come out through. Ruthless Knave, one of the cards we pick up here. Sacrifice a creature, create 2 colorless treasure artifact tokens. Sacrifice 3 treasures to draw a card. Fun card, but so we did it. We paid for our draft. So everything else beyond here is gravy. Let's see if we can run the whole draft here. Can only stay for about another hour before I have to head out. So hopefully we'll be able to finish up before then.